Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about the date element and how to take a date as an input from the user. So let's get started. I will just start programming, and it's the forms that we are already discussing about, and then we'll take ahead further with date input. So it could be any kind of a date function. Let me just give it some heading called date. Then h2. And then I'm just going straight forward to the form where the date function would be there, not taking any paragraphs or anything else in between. This is going to be the output, again not defined for this video. It's defined in other videos, maybe some PHP videos that I'll make in later on, but it's just like we're just calling it b day or anything, any kind of a day that you want to define it for a label. Then we say input type equals to date, the date that's going to be there from the user, and the id is going to be b day. That's going to store the value, and the name is equals to b day as well. Then another input, we are going to take the submit button. What's going to be on the submit button is going to be the value. Then the form. Then I'm just gonna close it, close the body, and close the HTML. There are other kinds of inputs as well, which I have talked in the previous video, but just want to show you how the date function works. So you paste it in your emulator and click on run, and let me try to zoom in so that you can actually see how a date function looks like. Okay, so this is your date value that you're going to take from the user. So as soon as the user clicks on the calendar, you see that this is highlighted. So let me just go ahead and give it like 14. Month is 2 and year is like 1991. Let me zoom out, just, yeah, 1991. And let me zoom in to show you actually actual value. So that's the actual value that the user submitted, and then click on submit. And the PHP page gives you what date we have entered. So it's year is 1991, second is the month, and 14th is the date. So that's one part of the video. Now we are going to do the second part of the video, wherein we try to define a range of the date, so that it's not necessary that you can take all types of date. So the form action thing, this one is going to be the same. And then, yeah, let me just go ahead and type in. For the later part, I will just remove what's in between, let the submit button be there, and after the before the submit button, let me go ahead and add some more date ranges. So for is equal to minimum date, we are going to define as date minimum, and then, yeah, we are just saying that after, and then we can just define it like some given value. So first of Jan 2001, and then give it input type equals to date, id is equals to, this is date minimum, first the lower range of the date, and then the name. Again, this is going to be date min as date minimum as well. Then minimum, what's the minimum value is 2000 year. So first the year is there, then the month is there, then the day is there. And then give two breaks just for the next line. Then define another label for the maximum value. Then we'll say date before, and then this is gonna be the lower value, so everything has to be above this value. Then close this label as well. Then input type, so one label, and then after the label input value. Type equals to date, id is equals to date minimum, name is equals to date. So this is going to be the maximum value, not max. This is also date maximum. Then what's the maximum value? 1979. So every date after this date can go for an input. Then define the breaks. Define another break, and we already have the input. Submit button is already there, and I haven't defined anything else. So just for the demo purpose, then copy it, take it to your emulator, go ahead and paste it, run it. So it says, I have to enter these two dates. One date it says has to be after, year 2000, 1st of January year 2000. So let me define this as 2000, and month I'm giving it as 02, date I'm giving it as 11th, and it says before 1980. So year is 19, yeah, 9. So let me take it as 79, day is 31, month is 12, and let me just go ahead and click on submit. So it's giving me an output. These two dates are there, minimum date is giving out and maximum date is giving out. Let's try to exceed the value and see what happens. Let me just go ahead and give it as 2012, month 12, date 12. So as soon as I enter anything which is not under the range, you get to see a pop-up which says that this particular value needs to be there. So you see this pop-up at the top with an exclamation mark. So that's how it goes, and in the next video we'll talk about more about these kind of dates and other kind of inputs. So that's it for this.